Hey, this is Bob from Dogwatch Cigar Radio.
And this is Dale, and you're watching a video review on StogieReview.com.
Excellent.
That one sounded okay.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Stogie Review video review. And as usual, I am Walt, and here to bring you another cigar review. Unfortunately, Jerry had some business come up, and he's unable to make his review this week, so I'm filling in. And last week I had mentioned that I was going to smoke the Indian Tobac Cameroon Legend and opted not to due to time. I decided that I was going to go ahead and smoke that one this time. And a little bit of information on this particular cigar, courtesy of the Earlman's Pocket Encyclopedia of Cigars. These are handmade in Santiago, Dominican Republic. The catalog says that they come in 3 sizes. However, this particular size is none of the 3 listed. This is a Robusto size, and the sizes listed are Super Toro, Robusto Grande, Toro Grande. The Grande sizes are Perfectos, which that is not, and certainly not Torpedo either. So that kind of rules out all 3 listings. It says that this brand was introduced in 2000. It offers a medium to full-bodied flavor with a Brazilian Maduro or Cameroon natural wrapper offered in boxes of 25. It seems kind of odd to me because why would you call it a Cameroon Legend if it was offered in Maduro? It would only make sense to me if it were Cameroon, and this one is in fact the Cameroon. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and light this cigar. And one thing I was going to mention is that ever since I started using these scissors, I never wet the end of my cigar before, and ever since using the scissors, I've kind of had to, just to help the scissors along. So I've just been doing it lately. Just want to get the cap wet a little bit. I usually just kind of lick my upper lip and then kind of roll the cigar over just to pull a little bit of moisture off my lip and wet it a little bit. I'm going to try to cut this without getting off camera. Unfortunately, you're still not going to be able to see me. And I've really come to enjoy these scissors, just because of the precision I get with them. I mean, the polio works great, but it just the scissors take such a minute amount off the cap that I just kind of prefer them now, just because of the extra control that I get. And I'm sure I could still get it with the polio cutter, but mine's just not cutting like it used to. I think I might have to send it back. I think it might be getting a little dull. But, you know, you don't hear about that very often, so maybe I was just overusing my cutter. Anyway, the draw is real nice. It's nice and free. It's got almost sort of a dark fruity taste to it. Feels nice and firm. There's 1 or 2 soft spots, but they're not real bad. The wrapper looks great. I mean, just a couple of small veins. Aside from that, it's very smooth. Looks great. Smells good. Band's stuck, but you can live with that. And I'm going to go ahead and get started. Well, I got everything all lit up and it's burning evenly and nicely, so I'm going to smoke into it a little bit and then start to discuss the flavors and whatnot, and get underway for the most part. So anyway, I'm going to take a quick break and I'll be back in just a second. Well, welcome back, folks. And as you can see, I'm smoke it into the Tobac Cameroon Legend a little bit, about 3/4 of an inch in so far, and I'm really happy with it. The burn line's off a little bit. I've got a little bit more on this side than I do on the opposite side. It's probably right on the edge of that 3/8 of an inch that I discussed before. That 3/8 of an inch being an acceptable variance. I'm like teetering right on the edge there. Any more on the low side, and I'm going to be, outside that, okay zone, kind of, that whole thing there. When you puff on the cigar, it's nice and free. There's just a very little bit of resistance. It puts off a good volume of smoke. Now, the resting smoke it's about average. It's about the same amount of smoke that comes off any other cigar that you smoke. It's just typical. It's not light, it's not heavy, but it's it's a little aromatic. It's nice. It smells very good in the room, kind of filling it, and it's not offensive. When you do puff on the cigar, you get lots of smoke. It's nice and thick. It's easy to play with. Get out of your sinuses, and it's light also when it comes out of your mouth. And the resting smoke is fairly light. The ash is about just a medium gray. There's nothing out of the ordinary there. The base flavor has got there's a little bit of spiciness to it, and it's just a little bit of a bite. It's not really a spicy flavor. It's just kind of a sensation. It's also sort of nutty, and it's got like a dark fruity flavor to it, but it doesn't have the sweetness. Sort of like maybe like a plum or a raisin or something like that. But it lacks the sweetness. I know it sounds off the wall. How can you have a dark fruity flavor without the sweetness? That's what defines the fruity flavor. Well, I don't know. That's just that's the first thing that comes to mind when I puff on the cigar. It's just like a really dark fruit with very little sweetness to it. So overall the cigar's going really well so far. I'm enjoying it. It's medium body. The finish is about average. It lasts a few minutes before it starts to fade off the palate, but it's nice and smooth. I've smoked at least a half a dozen of these cigars in the past 2 weeks, and I'm really enjoying them. To get off topic a little bit, this is where the warning comes across the screen. I don't like to talk politics in general. I especially don't like to talk politics with cigars. But there was one thing I wanted to bring up to all the Pennsylvania residents out there, and that's brought to you by a letter I got from my state representative, Dante Santoni Jr. I emailed Mr. Santoni a few days ago, maybe late last week, about a House bill that's going, at a proposed tax for cigars and cigarettes. The cigarettes thing don't bother me too much, for one, because I don't smoke cigarettes, but the cigar end of it does bother me quite a bit. It's House Bill number 1476 in the state of Pennsylvania, and it was brought to the Finance Committee on June 5th. It's a proposed tax of 56%. That would make your $10 cigar, $15 and some cents. It's a pretty big jump on tobacco products, cigars in general, because Pennsylvania is one of the few states that there is no tax on cigars. So please keep in mind, this isn't a tax increase. This is an enormous tax that we may see. So I would strongly suggest doing the same thing I did. Contact your local, your representative. I also contacted Senator Michael Opaque. I haven't heard back from him yet, but both letters were both very simple. I pretty much explained that I was a cigar smoker. I really enjoyed my cigars. I would like to continue to smoke cigars and enjoy cigars. However, it would be very difficult for me to do so if this tax goes into effect, and it effectively, marks up my cigars another half because it's a huge increase in cigars, and I think it's really going to hurt business in Pennsylvania. So if you're a Pennsylvania resident, please contact your local representative, your state senator, whoever you need to kind of voice your opinion on this. Also, if you're a member of Club Stogie or Cigar Live, the member Single Malt Scott is really doing a lot to help prevent this. He started an online petition. I know most of you are thinking, well, online petitions really don't mean anything. Well, they don't, but it's something. At least it is something. And he's going to print out this whole this whole petition kind of thing, and send it out to all the representatives and whatnot, just to kind of get it out there a little bit. So please, if you live in the state of Pennsylvania, do something, anything. I'm sure none of us can really afford this kind of tax, and I'm really avoiding saying tax increase because it's not an increase. We don't want to be paying 1.5 times what a cigar should be costing us. So anyway, let's rant off on a more happy subject. I came up with a name for my makeshift lounge, and I'm going to be keeping it when I move into my new location, and that is going to be the Speakeasy Smokeworks. Speakeasy for this temporary room. If you watch the last video, you know why I'm going that route. But I'm going to carry it over to the new room simply because even though the name really isn't quite, it doesn't have the same meaning, it's going to be my little secret place to kind of get away from the hustle and bustle of everyday life. So the Speakeasy Smokeworks, I think it's going to work for both situations, and that's what it's going to be. You're coming to you coming to you as live as a recording can be from Speakeasy Smokeworks. So anyway, I'm going to take a quick break, and I will be back in just a minute to actually smoke some of my cigar and not talk so much, and we'll get into the second, third, and go from there. So see you in just a sec. Back, and I'm getting pretty close to the band. I'm still in the second third of the cigar. This is a pretty large band, so don't think that just because I'm so close to the band that it's about quitting time for the cigar, because there's quite a bit left to smoke. Before I talk about the cigar, I realized that I forgot to tell you what was in that letter from the representative, and that was that Mr. Santoni just sent me a letter saying that he received my email. When the bill comes up for committee review, he will take my opinions into consideration. So it was basically just a confirmation letter that he got my email and nothing more. So my only hope is that this thing doesn't pass. But enough political stuff. Back to the cigar. So far it's done really well. It's very consistent with all the others I've smoked, and the price point of these is really nice. I got these I'm not sure if they were a cigar bid private auction or if they were just a featured auction. I got a bundle of, I don't remember whether it was 20 or 25. I think it might have been 20 for I think it was like $27.99, $29.99, something like that. They were selling off I think it was, I don't know, a couple hundred bundles, and I got them for a really good price, and I really haven't been disappointed so far. The cigar's still producing, pretty good volume of smoke. It's still nice and thick. Flavor, it really kind of just coats your mouth. It's and it doesn't linger very long. It stays, pretty smooth, pretty crisp, and the base flavors are still, it's like a dark fruit without the sweetness, and it's got a nutty component which is beginning to kind of fade out now, and I'm getting more of a cedary tone in there now. So far the flavors are nice. Actually, so far everything's been really nice. The body's nice and medium. It's got good flavors. It's nice and consistent. Burns even. That uneven burn I had cleared up for the most part. It's burning well, fairly slow. The ash is relatively strong. It holds on for over an inch and a half before I tap it off the cigar. And it takes a little effort to knock it off the cigar, but I don't want it falling on the floor. So, I'm taking extra care in removing the ash before it has a chance to slip off the cigar. But anyway, second, third's been pretty good to me. So it's about time for me to pull the band off. I'm going to take a break, pull the band off, smoke a little bit more, and I will be back one last time to do just a wrap-up general overview, and I'll let you get out of here. So I'll see you in just a second. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for the third or fourth or whatever it is. The last little piece of my cigar here, the final third. And once again, smoking the Indian Tobac Cameroon Legend. And for those of you that aren't aware, this is a Rocky Patel product. I'm not real fond of Rocky Patel cigars, but I do like the Indian Tobac series. I've had the classic Corojo. It's been quite some time since I had that cigar, but from what I remembered, I enjoyed it. I really like the Super Fuerte Maduro. I think that's a good, solid, value cigar. It does really well. And now we've got the Cameroon Legend, and I'm really enjoying this cigar as well. The base flavor has been very consistent. It's the cedary flavor is picking up a little bit. The nutty flavor is dying off. It's still got this dark fruity flavor. And I know this sounds really confusing, but it's got like a dark fruity flavor, but it lacks the sweetness. And it's a nice, enjoyable flavor. It's easy on the palate. It's nice and smooth. It doesn't linger too long. It lingers just long enough to get your attention and kind of let you enjoy a little bit, and then it'll fade. But so far, it's been a good, solid cigar. A nice, even burn. That burn problem I had originally corrected itself. It's still corrected. Putting off about an average resting smoke. It's light in color. When you draw on the cigar, it's nice and free. The smoke that you expel out of your mouth is nice and thick. It's easy to get through the sinuses. Again, it's light in color. The ash is nice and firm. And overall, I'm really enjoying the cigar. I think it's a very good value, especially if you can get them in a situation like I did for under $30 for a bundle. I think it's a very good value cigar at that price. And I think I would even pay a little bit more for a box. Maybe $60 for a box certainly isn't out of line for a box of 25. I think it's a very good cigar. I don't know that I would pay more than that, but again, it's a very good cigar for the price. And it's an even better cigar when you pay, auction prices for it. Well, that about wraps it up for the Indian Tobac Cameroon Legend. I definitely recommend the cigar if you enjoy medium-bodied cigars, and certainly won't kill your wallet either. It's a good price. Before I get out of here, just want to quick mention that thank you for the comments on the Your Questions, My Answers episode 12. It was nice to get a little. Actually, there's a lot of feedback we got from that. It was Justin's first attempt at editing one of our longer videos, and I think he did a decent job. The picture-in-picture is kind of iffy. I don't think we're going to be keeping that, but it certainly would be nice on occasion, but certainly not through an entire video like that. So, I'm really looking forward to the upcoming episodes of Your Questions, My Answers. Especially to get Jerry back on board. I was amazed at how much I rely on Jerry to kind of steer the ship there, and it was tough for me to do it. And it was just difficult to. For one, I didn't have the questions in front of me, so listening to the questions, thinking about my answer, and then trying to think far enough ahead so that I could kind of steer things in a certain direction was really difficult. But we got it done, and it was fun. So we look forward to doing it again. Also, we're looking to have guests on Your Questions, My Answers at some point. probably in the next couple episodes, maybe 2 or 3 episodes down the line. So if you're interested, shoot us an email. You can use the contact form. Let us know you're interested. Basic requirements are you need to utilize the Skype software and have either a webcam or a DV camera so that you can record yourself. Or if you'd prefer to just do it audio, we could probably make that work too. So just contact us if you're interested, and we'll work from there. But anyway, that's about all I got for you today. So as always, thanks for watching. I appreciate all the support, and happy smoking from the Speakeasy Smoke Bar. Catch you next time.